Hello, my darlings, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Mariya. This channel is about spirituality and all things energy related. Please subscribe below so we can be YouTube friends. This video is about the energetic abilities of cats. Cats as pets. How are the cats special? What are the cats doing in the background when you don't realize? And especially, how can cats be helpful if you are on spiritual journey? All of this and more in this video. You guys, if you don't know me, I'm a cat lady. Self-professed, love cats. If I could just surround myself with cats, I would. I only have two. I own two. I own a black cat and a white cat, the boy and the girl. And I've had them for not quite so long, actually. About 5 years for the older one and about 3 years for the baby. And I've always wanted cats for as long as I could remember myself. And even when I was a kid, I was begging mom to get me a cat. And she just wouldn't. She couldn't be bothered, is the truth of this. And little did I know at the time why I wanted a cat so badly. Years later, after my awakening, interacting with cats has been such a treasure in my life, and I am noticing energetic shifts in my body, in my aura once I interact with the cats. And so this video is all about my latest insights that, have been hating me over the years, but really, some of them have been pretty recent. And so I just wanted to share, as a self-professed cat lady, to all of the other cat ladies and cat gentlemen out there, why you love the cat so much, really, and why are cats so magical? Because I don't think there's enough information on the internet about how magical the cats are, and I think we need to remedy that together. All right, you. Cats are magical animals in the sense that at one point they were actually a hybrid animal, and they were genetically engineered to be spiritual companions for human beings. Cats at one point, as you guys probably well know, were an animal that was venerated in ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt was a very spiritual culture. It was a culture of a lot of temples. And of course, each of the temples was protected by and overseen by the priestesses. And priestesses, since the ancient times, had a very deep connection to cats. And very much knowingly so, because the priestesses, needing to interact with energy all the time, understood how beneficial cats are when it comes to energy work. So cats are quite unique. They're kind of like snakes in a way, only more accessible, I think, and more acceptable as a pet. Cats can see into the lighter realms. They can see into other dimensions. They can, their range, the range of the things that they can perceive is way higher than a human. And because of that, they are tapped in and connected in ways that a human being never would be able to be honest. And of course, cats, just like human beings, are not all created equal. A cat chooses which family a cat wants to come into. There are more advanced cats, and there are, souls, call it beings, that are just getting started in cat bodies. And so the level of proficiency and the range of those abilities within cats also vary. Some cats are more magical than others. And depending on the color of the fur and the breed even, the cat would carry a very different energetic imprint. And they would have very different ways that they would interact with the lighter realm, and the service that they come here to render would be very, very different. Very often, especially with spiritual people, but even for anyone really, there's a sacred contract that is created between a cat coming into a family and the family. And the cat usually has the role to play in the family. And cats take their missions very, very seriously. I know this because I've talked to my cat about her mission, and she's just shared certain things. Now, you guys know I'm crazy, B, very connected. So talking to cats is very normal to me. But if you were to connect to your cat, and usually you do it heart to heart, you would be able to find out why specifically this cat showed up in your life, and what is this cat's mission as it relates to you and your family. Now, cats are magical, like beyond measure. Everything that they do has this potential for healing. So cats are extremely in tune animals that heal you. And they usually heal you at the level of energy and at the level of emotion. Now, of course, there's the physical healing as well. Sometimes, and you guys know that, that's very well documented, that sometimes when you're in pain, your cat, in physical pain, your cat would come and lie down on the spot where there is pain, and then the pain disappears. And that part, again, like I said, has been very well documented. What hasn't really been all that well documented is what happens with the aura and how does your cat interact with your aura. Some of the things I'll be sharing today are personal because I interact with cats all the time. I literally can't keep my hands off of my cats. And I have noticed their behavior and their energy state. And in no random, I'm just going to be telling you things in random order, however it wants to flow. But one thing I've noticed is, for instance, when I go and travel, and then I come back home, our cats tend to absorb anything that's suboptimal from the auric fields for me and my husband when we come back home. We usually travel together and then we come back. And the first couple of days, the cats are fine. But then if we brought with ourselves something suboptimal from the trip, any really negative energies, and it could be anything, right? Like, I don't know, people were sick around us or people were unhappy around us. We carry that in our auras. We come back home and our cats start to clear that energy right away. And I'm extremely attuned to my cats. Like, I would notice everything about them. And usually within 48 hours or so, they have done the big clearing. And so I usually feel better when I come home because they take on this wonderful, energetic service for me, right? So they would clear up my aura. One thing I would notice though, and of course I do energy work and I work a lot with people, and sometimes I travel and do retreats and things like that, right? And I've also noticed that kind of the more work I do with people and the more of that energy, if I don't clear myself, ends up on my cats. And we have also noticed that the cats then, they start showing signs of, physical ailments. Now, our cats are really healthy, or physical discomfort. For the baby, for the white one, his eyes start to become a little redder because he has blue eyes, but I start noticing the red rim around his eyes when he starts absorbing a lot of the negativity. Or, there may start to be problems with their digestion all of a sudden. It's usually happens between 48 and 72 hours once we come back home from a trip, every single time like clockwork. Now, before I go into the other properties of cats, the question that I'm getting from the collective is some of you are like, oh my God, Mariya, why are they taking all of this stuff? This is so not fair. And what do we do about this? I actually completely agree. A part of me also feels like it's unfair. Why would my cats, and they're little babies, why would they absorb all of my, frankly, garbage off of my aura? A part of me is not okay with it. Another part of me understands that there is a sacred contract that exists between my two fur babies, and that is why they came here. And, I am in awe and in gratitude that they would even do that work for me and my husband, that, I'm just in gratitude all the time. And thankfully, what we have to deal with, right, are minor energetic alignments, but broadening things up. Very often cats would absorb a very serious ailment from one of the family members. Cats have been known to absorb somebody's cancer, somebody's bronchitis, all kinds of things that are not really, really good. And sometimes cats die from it. If a person is not able to heal themselves, with, the normal means or whatever means necessary, then sometimes the cat has to die because the cat, they naturally take on that pain, that distortion in the auric field. And through that, they heal the entire family. And so we think that we're, these great, amazing, people for feeding them and taking care of them. But really, I guarantee you, your cat is taking care of you way more than you're taking care of your cat, even if you're the best cat parent in the entire world, because, energy work, even for cats, can be draining. And it's actually really, have you guys noticed, in cats, sometimes they just stare in in a particular direction, but they're staring into thin air. And you're like, what are you doing? And people like wondering. But very often the cat is doing energy work and clearing work when the cat is staring in the ether. It's almost like she is always scanning the surroundings for distortions. And, these distortions can be just in the house, or the distortions can be on the people, right? And so the cats would always optimize your flow and would always optimize the energy in the house in general. One quick tip. Doing the energy clearing on your cat once your cat has absorbed all of the negativity and all of the less pretty energies from you. We usually do an egg cleanse. This is something that is very prominent in Latin culture. So you just take an egg, like a regular raw egg, and then we just essentially rub our cats with the egg. And, as you do so, you put the intention that the egg takes away all of the negativity. Because usually, if something is alive, it can still absorb whatever energy, right? The egg is alive. It's a living organism. I know that we don't always think of an egg as a living organism, but it is. It's a potential. There is a potential of a future chicken inside of that egg. And so you can just use the egg to cleanse your cat usually you just rub your cat for about a minute to 2 with an intention to clear everything. Now, your serious shamans would tell you there's probably an incantation to say. I have found this to work even if you don't say anything and just have an intention to clear your baby of any and all negativity. And then if you're curious, right, you just put like a little bit, you take a glass, you put a little bit of water, and then you would break an egg and you would see actually through the egg and the shape of the egg itself and what you're seeing in the cup, how bad the energy was that the cat picked up. And you would notice that, sometimes there are all kinds of like little strings attached to the egg or like little bubbles up top. That's all negative energy. Or sometimes like you would even have almost like it looks like an inflammation on the egg yolk. That is if that is usually happens when the egg took away a lot of negativity. And usually when we do this little clearing, the cat is healthy within 24 hours, 48 hours longest. And you guys, it heals them very, very well. And, we do that quite frequently, but definitely every single time when I'm sensing that there is something energetically wrong with my cats. For instance, if they are not as active, if the baby doesn't really come out of his hiding, that's how I know something is wrong. So pay attention to your cat's habits. If the habits change even a little bit, even a sliver, that is because your cat is trying to work through that energy. Now, of course, we're huge animals compared to the cats, right? And so our auras can hold on to a lot of negativity. The cats are a lot smaller. So it takes them a lot longer to process the amount of baggage that we can process fairly quickly. It's just sometimes, right, we're stuck on something and so we're not processing. And that's when the cat really, really has to step in. So that's one. Your cat will always clear your aura just by being in your presence. Now, there's like the work as usual for the cat, and then there are like and then there's the Cat Olympics. And the Cat Olympics is, so when the cat is purring, specifically, that is when the cat does a lot of energy clearing. Usually, it's a pleasurable process for the cat because, again, they like this type of cleanup work. And usually, they don't purr next to the people that they don't consider to be part of their family. So when the cat is purring and when you're petting the cat or the cat is just sitting on your lap or what have you, and the purr is for you, like usually the purr is for one particular person. And that is when the cat is working on your personal auric field, not something in your house, not the grand average of all of the energies in the house. The cat is working specifically on your aura. I have noticed, like when you actually start paying attention, you would notice that if you have a purring cat on your lap, and especially if you're petting them, so there's an energy exchange, right? You would notice that when the cat leaves, and the cat always knows when to leave. And to you, it may feel like random, like why has the cat been here for like a random amount of time and now it's gone? When the cat's work is done through the purring, that's when the cat is able to leave. The purring is actually a work of harmonization. So the cat, how do I best describe it? Disharmonious energy distorted energy looks like broken lines. So the fabric of the universe, when it is healthy, looks like straight lines, vertical and horizontal, and just makes like little nets like that, like little web. And when the energy is distorted, these lines can become stretched out or broken or just misshapen. And so when the cat does the purring, all of these golden lines, they come back to their harmonious state, to their straight lines. And when when your aura is in that state, disease just cannot stick. Bad emotions, bad thoughts, they just don't stick. They're like in and out. So you become part of the flow. And so when the cat is purring, she or he is doing a big favor for you and doing an energetic cleanse. I have also noticed with the kneading. Do you guys know with the kneading when the cat is almost like putting the paws on you, like right next to you, and it's almost like, what is she doing? Now, would every single time that the cat is kneading, or would she be doing energy surgery on you? No. But I found that to be true, that when I'm feeling down and my cat, comes close to me and she, sometimes she goes on my chest and she starts doing the kneading, it hurts sometimes because they put their little claws inside of your skin, which is not always the most, pleasant sensation. And initially, when I didn't really understand how energy worked, I'm like, oh my God, I need to put like some stuff between me and you. Like maybe I need a little blanket. So, it's not always a comfortable sensation, but I've learned that it's like akin to spiritual surgery. So, when you have something that's really weighing you down, or whether it's like a big blockage in your aura, like in a particular chakra, the cat may come and start doing the kneading situation, or I think they call it the making the biscuit, like when the cats do that. They get a little scratchy. That is literally when they're going through layers of ether, like layers of energy, to get to the root cause of something. So they need to almost like open it up like a surgeon would during a surgery. And when they do that, they usually start to purr also for harmonization. And so as they open it up, they usually get to the root cause, and then that energy is able to escape from your aura. And then they do the whole song and dance of harmonization. And if you start paying attention, especially if you have been emotionally feeling very strange or very down, and then the cat does her thing with the kneading, you would notice that before and after, pretty dramatic. There is like a pretty dramatic relief, like your entire aura opens up and you instantly start feeling happier. And that is how magical the cats are. Knowing all of that, right? And like knowing all of the energetic benefits that we're getting from our cats, I think that, I don't know, I just think of them as like angel fur babies. They are such angels. And of course, we know the cats are, from the times of the witches, cats were very frequently a witch's familiar, right? So the animal, that would be the witch's companion. There were many reasons for that. Part of the reason is because the cats were recognized for the psychic abilities that the cats had. Secondarily, cats have this propensity for putting protections on the house. You know how cats really get attached to the house that they live in? It's because a cat does not personally feel safe in the house unless they set up energetic protections of that house. There's usually one main cat that does that. One main cat that's responsible for setting the protections of the house. It's kind of like setting up the wards. And that's why if you bring the cat into the new space, they sometimes are restless at the beginning and they would do a lot of sniffing. And it's not just because it doesn't smell like them, but they're trying to get the energy of the place right. And they're sealing some of the leakages of the energy. And that's why cats really like being in the same place and living in the same house for a prolonged amount of time because they can really control the grid, if that makes sense. And they don't have to worry about establishing a whole new set of wards. So for the cat, traveling is very stressful because every single cat is naturally wired to build those protections. Now, if the cat is in a moving vehicle on an airplane or somewhere, they cannot really build protections for that because A, they're in a state of stress and the cat really needs to be in a state of calm and needs to be, not hungry and really content in order to start building energetic structures to protect the house. But because everything is moving, cats don't really deal well with moving. Now, there are some cats, and there are exceptions to every rule, right? There are some cats that are just used to moving all the time. But most cats, as a general rule, find it extremely stressful. And the reason being is because it's really hard to set up energetic protections on moving vehicles because essentially you need to anchor them into the earth. But if the car is moving, there is no one spot that you can anchor the energies. Depending on the color of the fur, different cats have different natural propensities, so to say, or strength or abilities. It's not to say that, so there's cat as a species, right? And so every single cat is going to be able to heal you. Every single cat is going to be able to harmonize your aura. Every single cat is going to be able to protect the house energetically. Every single cat is going to be able to, if they wanted to take away your illness, right? Now, it's an opt-in for the cat. The cat doesn't have to take it. But cats are very loving creatures, despite the fact they're very independent, and very often they do voluntarily take a disease. But depending on the skin on the color of their fur, they would come bearing certain gifts. So black cats, of course, those are the ones that are associated with witchcraft the most. They are, the most magical. They have the deepest layer of connection. Like they can connect 3 layers up, like 3 dimensions up and 3 dimensions down. And they can also look into the inner earth, so they see a lot of spirits. Black cats are known for the strength of their protection. So black cats are the ones that are the best for any kinds of rituals, or just any kind of, like, if you're just doing energy work, right? Like if you have a black cat in the house, you're going to be as protected as you can be from any kind of external influence, because black cats are like really masterful protectors, and they're kind of scary etherically. I don't know why I feel like telling you all these personal stories, you guys, but like my black cat, I was just looking at her light bodies. She is huge. Like this thing has a light body that is like literally higher than my ceiling. Like she's big energetically, and there, like no disturbances can come through the house, like when she's guarding it that way. And I also find that when I travel, she gets really worried because cats, they have a mission. She's very much here on the mission, helping me out. And, when I'll be meditating and I'm traveling, I don't know, say when I go to Mexico, she likes to show up during my meditations to set up protections for the bedroom where I'm staying. And she'll be mad that I'm not home, so she cannot properly protect me. So she has to travel etherically to where I'm meditating, to a different country, a different continent, to set up the words of protection for me. And that is how loyal the freaking cats are. And we're not giving them enough credit, let me tell you. So the black cats, again, very magical. They can enhance your psychic abilities, your ability to heal. Like, in other words, they help you concentrate your energy in a way that your stream becomes potent. If you're a channeler and there's a black cat in the room, she's going to accentuate your channel. If you're a writer, and again, she's going to accentuate your energy. And so everything is better with a black cat. So they don't have, they have a little bit of a bad rep for nothing. White cats are beautiful harmonizers of the space, and specifically they bring a lot of lighthearted energies and healing. So it's almost like with a white cat, like light enters your house, so like light enters your life. They are very usually like happy-go-lucky, and so they're very good for heart healing. They're really good for places where people are a little bit sad, like the emotions are running really, really high, because they're amazing emotional healers, amazing heart healers. They can literally patch up any heart wound, and they bring in that lightness into everything and really help you actually activate your higher centers. So the white cats really operated the higher centers, and then that's quite beautiful. The orange cats, the orange and the red fur, they are very sensitive. The orange cats are extremely intuitive, and they can really merge with the owner or the person they consider to be their person. And through that merging, they can help you work through mental blocks. That's actually really special, something about the orange cats. They can help you even with your mental, meaning like negative thoughts, negative belief systems. If you have intrusive thoughts, if you just feel like you're living in a negativity bubble, the orange cat is really, really good for that, because they do connect to the mental, not just the emotional. The red cats are actually, the orange cats are really, really supportive of somebody's personal growth or change. So really, really good cats if you're like, making a change or like need help, like massively shifting something. Gray cats like to come to houses where interpersonal relationships are not necessarily always easy between people because they can harmonize a family unit. Or sometimes the gray cat would choose to come into a family that just lost a loved one. Like somebody passed away and the gray cat really comes to fill that void. And it's almost like they are bringing cohesion back to a family unit, a tribe, or a lineage. They're that magical. All right, my darlings. I can talk about cats probably for 3 more hours with all the personal stories that I have. Just realize that your cat is incredibly smart, that he or she signed up to be here with you on a mission and on a journey, that they're healing you even as you sleep. They're healing you behind the scenes, and you should be also grateful and definitely buy your cat treats. If you own one. If you don't own a cat and you're on a spiritual path, you are missing out, you guys, because as somebody who's on the spiritual path, we go through so many energetic upgrades and updates and purging and shedding and everything that, our light bodies are working on, like they're in overdrive. And the cat is one of the best ways to help yourself really on this path. Not to mention that they're such cute little furry babies. And really, even if they weren't magical and even if they didn't have all of these energy abilities, when you just want to have one, I don't know. This is like totally an ad for cats, if you guys didn't know. But yes, don't forget to take care of your animal. If you haven't cleared your cat with an egg, do so. She will thank you. And my take on this is also, we almost don't want certain negativity to fester, right? Because like energy first, energy is a very light substance, right? But if you put a lot of the same frequency into the same vessel, eventually it becomes denser, 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 and denser, and it may manifest as physical disease if it's a suboptimal energy. So I usually do the clearing on the cats anytime I notice anything that's off, and very often it's a couple of times a month. Because what I don't want to happen is for them to carry the little things and then accumulate the little things into a big disease, right? Really trying to not go there. And so I think like it's a little the little things around care and clearing them up, that goes a long way in the long term. Please let me know in the comments what you have noticed about your cat and how your cat has helped you on your spiritual path. Oh, there she is. My baby's mewing. Can you hear her? That's the black one. Would love to hear your cat stories. Always love to hear about your furry babies. I hope this was helpful. Please let me know in the comments if this type of content is fun for you. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, loves.